Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and/or its affiliate and subordinate ministries and nonprofits. Some of this content may be adult in nature, so please use discretion while watching with your kids. Woohoo! You're trying to turn it up?
It just came in at full volume. The thing ain't controlling it. This ain't good.
That's probably the volume of the computer itself.
Yeah, somehow we lost control of it.
Because it's not on the actual. That's actually playing through the computer itself. So you have to do the volume.
Close it and reopen it.
No, the volume of the actual computer itself.
Right. And how did that change? Is it because now we're using the rolling on this?
Probably. I don't know. Did you try turning up number 4?
Yeah. It was down all the way and it just came in at full
You have
volume.
to use just the actual volume on the computer itself.
Yeah.
So good morning, everybody. Sorry, my headphones are like really down. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Yeah. Mine
Check
are a little
one,
bit
check
loud,
two.
actually.
My headphones are...
She said hers were too loud, so I turned them down.
Gotcha.
Well...
I put mine up to the center.
Yeah.
To the center, click.
Center click.
So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
And we're glad to have you. Want to move us on over to the... Are you hearing the static?
I do hear that. It sounds like a mechanical noise, like one of the air conditioners in the other room. Nope, it's gone. All right. Well, good morning.
That's a power issue, I think, because we and I still haven't figured out exactly like what to turn on.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it
like
is.
the
Also,
order. I'm gonna like and share this video.
you like and share.
So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna share this to Facebook
Share it to Facebook.
as we speak.
Do what you do. Oh yeah. That's maybe I got them too loud, but that's all right. I'll live with that. So we're glad to have everybody on board with us today. Today we are talking about our story, how we got to where we are today. That's what I'm saying.
Do you even remember where it started? Because it didn't start with me. It was a suggestion that came from you, and I think you talked to Jim.
I did talk to Jim. I talked to Jim. Well, Jim made sure that I was there at Dr. Paul's house at one point because they needed somebody to run ourStory.com, which you can still go there, ourStory.com, and listen to past episodes.
Yeah.
As like a podcast.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm, you know.
Of course, it started with music, and we haven't got all of our people coming on. They're coming on now, but it's good. We're sorry that we started a little bit late today. I hope you're able to find us and share us with your friends so that they can find us too.
We weren't that late.
No, no.
Let me go here to my. I got to like and share these because if you don't, we're not going to get seen, folks.
Yeah.
We need you to share us. We need you to be sharing.
There's some weird stuff on here that I don't know why it's there.
What?
Both calls. Oh, okay. Now I do.
Yeah, one has both calls on it.
So you click on that.
And when people...
Once they've joined,
and it'll bring both calls up. And then there's one with one call and one with the other call in the center.
So you go to the one call, copy that link, send it to the person you want on one, copy the link for two, send it to them, and then when they join, you switch over to that, and it's already on that layer.
Yeah, or you got one with just one of them there, and one with just the other one there, and then one with both of them there.
And you can switch them back and forth as they join. You can bring them in, and as they leave, you can bring them out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man. We learned a lot yesterday. So our story begins June 2015. I have a meeting with Dr. Jim Whining, and I didn't know him very well at the time. I mean, I knew him well enough. But he was like, he's like, we need somebody to, and he didn't ask me. I kind of, he put it in a way where I volunteered. Yeah, we're having a rough go, but we need somebody to run Axe Radio. I said, I could try. Because I didn't think I could do it.
Right.
I was going to try anyways. Because the last guy
so they wouldn't just die in the water.
Right. So the problem was we had to figure out an issue with
Morning, Philip.
Is that Steve Schultz?
Steve.
I'm glad he's here because he's part of our story.
Yes, he is.
So I accepted it. It was me. It was all me at first.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, if I'm running this, I'm gonna have a talk show, just because. So I went on there, listen to the music. We got like 1 or 2 listeners a week if we were lucky.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay. We had a meeting with Jim about it, and I was like, I'm getting rid of all that.
No, it was .com radio. So that was really when .com radios were just coming into vehicles. Most people didn't have it. So it wasn't really ready to catch on anyway.
Right. But it was a catalyst for what we're doing now.
Not for music.
Not for music. But we did play music, and
it was always music. Yeah.
Having to fill out the report every month and send it to ASCAP and BMI and all that stuff. That was, that was not easy.
Yeah.
And so we started our show. He's like, okay, July 7th will be our first show.
Yeah.
I had changed all the music out. I got almost every song that was up there off of there.
And went to contemporary.
Which
wasn't really the right move.
Which wasn't really the right move.
Because we had a lot of performers in Branson who gave us music for our radio.
I kept some of it.
Yeah.
I kept some of it.
And those were bridges. We didn't burn them down, though, because they're Christian people.
No, we played them for a long, 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 long time.
Yeah, and I think they will come back.
Oh, yeah. We played it for a long time.
Yeah.
So if there was a contractual obligation, I'm sure it was met.
Oh, there wasn't. I'm just saying that those people were valuable assets to Axe that we, by doing that, may have created some insult or some injury.
I don't think anybody was paying attention.
No, but I think they were when it disappeared. Once that got out, I think it did have some issues. And it may have, and I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it did or it didn't. It's saying
possibility.
Yes, I'm saying as far as bringing those people back in, they're going to say, well, what happened to this?
Right.
Didn't we give something to you before? Where's that?
Well, we can't play it on here forever.
No.
So, and some of it was just, bless them. Bless them. Okay.
Well, and it wasn't my genre.
No.
So I was not entertained by it.
I don't think sorry. I was eating a Fireball.
Yeah.
Bad time to be eating a Fireball right before we go on live. So we set up everything. We already had a studio set up, a recording area. So we were like, let's just use where Barney's drums are. We're going to set it up. We had a little what is that called? It's
USB mic.
USB mic sitting on a metal chair.
And a little sliver of the booth sectioned off.
Yeah, and it was just us sitting here talking awkwardly like we are right now.
It was like us in a closet, really.
It was. And we called it Front Porch Convo.
Yeah.
It was first going to be called Words in Red. Morning, Larry Melton. And, last minute it changed.
Yeah.
I'm like, Morning Drive. The Morning Drive. And you see, now we're the Morning Drive. I'm the namer around here. I name stuff. That's what I do.
No, I came up with Words in Red and think that would have been better, but I was okay with the change. I still think we should have went with that.
You had your opportunity to tell me that.
I know. I know, and I don't regret that it came out the way it did, because we would have run out of Words in Red. We'd be hashing those out for a long time.
Yeah. Right now, we're in July 7th, it'll be 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
Man, boy, time flies.
Yeah.
So we did that for a couple of years.
It's more than 6, isn't it?
No, July 2015, 16, 17,
Oh.
18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
So be 6 years this upcoming. And we have hardly had a fan base until recently. Now we get more and more people. We got Steve Schultz, we got Larry. Of course, they've been around since the beginning.
Yeah.
So you decided that you wanted to have a dining room again. And I was kind of trying to work this out.
And the
long
band had
before
kind
that,
of
kind of flambied.
so there was a
flammed.
lot of stuff in my house to have just a radio show.
Yeah. So we started doing it just, after we took all the booth down and everything. And I'm like, I talked to Jim and I was going to see if Axe Media Group would pay for this device that we can run our phone, since I had admin rights on the page, on our Facebook page, Axe Media Group, if they would buy this and we would try to do a simulcast. This device allowed us to use that board right back there and to the phone. And so we got a tripod and that thing and set it up and started there in the garage. I mean, and it was definitely a garage. You could tell it was a garage, and it was dusty, and we still had guests coming on in there.
Yeah.
Jay, you can have your own show and call it what you want. That's what Steve Schultz said.
Hey, you just zip it. Steve, zip it.
Zip it,
Had enough
Steve.
of your interruptions.
So
don't make me get the stick, which is not here anymore.
No,
we had that stick in the studio for ages.
I think it's in storage.
Yeah,
I don't think you got rid of it.
I don't know where it is.
What I'm doing is I'm typing in the comment section, because the more you type in the more comments you have, the more visibility you get. So we had access to the Axe Studios, the Axe office building.
Yeah,
that whole entire time, but we went like 2 years without it, without using it. Then we're like, let's just get this out of the house altogether. I don't mind. We don't mind driving there.
No, Larry, I was booing Steve's comment. He thinks that that was me that said boo. I was booing Steve's comment. What did Larry say?
What did he say?
I
what
said
you
boo,
want,
Larry
baby?
Said, what you want, baby? Wrong, baby. Wrong, baby.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, because all right, so his wife might be on here.
I think he thinks, because didn't she call him boo?
That's true. Yeah, she may.
Yeah, I thought that's what happened.
And she's called Pooh. Poos from Becky. But yeah, so we started there. We started in the garage. I know this is probably, I'm not really good at telling stories today. So we, it was just one day after the other. We went up, we were like, okay, let's, you guys saw it when we were talking about it.
Well, and it's a different story for each of us.
Yeah. And you guys saw it, the building of it. Those of you who have been here since the beginning, like Larry and Steve, and there's probably another Steve or two in there somewhere. But it was just, it's surreal to be sitting here right now. We've got all this stuff going on. And now we have what do we have? Like 1, 2, 3. We have 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have 7, 8 different shows that we do every week. I got to get my what do you call it? My coffee. So, and I know I'm probably boring you guys right now because I'm trying to remember everything that happened. Jay and I, we get to talking about stuff, and we tried in the beginning. We tried to have a outline or a plan. Thank you, Jay, by the way.
You're welcome.
Of what we were going to do, and it came out with pugs with no eyes, and People dying from selfie sticks. You remember that?
Well, and this is reeling back from before we moved to the
Right.
X.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I didn't have a license. You're right. You typed that in.
No,
No license.
I'm talking about the fishing tournament at Larry's.
Oh.
I have no license for fishing.
Do we have to fish? Do we have to have a fishing
I
license?
don't know.
I mean, it's his fish.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're getting off track.
Yeah.
We got a commercial to do here in a couple minutes. Is that up there?
No.
So we started with
I don't even see it here. Did we forget to add it? Or is it okay?
You'll have to open the other ones and see it. Like open them. I think it may be on near the bottom. If it's not, we have to add it. So it's got to be there somewhere.
Rooster Bike JPG?
Nope. That's the Rooster Bike.
I don't see any other here closed.
Oh, just add it then, if you could.
As an input?
Yep. You go to input. There you go. You guys can't see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Just go to browse. And it should be go to the commercials. No, go to the commercials icon. Not old commercials, but commercials. It's just commercials. There it is. Double clicker. Click OK down at the. It didn't work. You have to go and do it again.
Okay, so go on anyway.
Anyways,
it's really an interesting story.
It is.
It is a lot more full of conflict and change and frustration and hard work and failures and successes. And it was. I don't know how we made it through it actually, and to be here, except that we always had in mind that it was worthwhile.
Yeah, because we always keep in mind what we're doing it for. We're doing it because we want to get the gospel out to people in a non-harsh way. And then, we want to reach the people that can otherwise not be reached.
Yeah.
And we've seen people accept Christ because they started asking questions on the show.
Yeah, and I think we both had this desire to continue to commit our works to the Lord.
And let him establish
and whatever way
Becky.
it would go, that he would determine what way it would go, but that we would continue to work. And so this kind of had this space, it filled that space and give us a work to do.
Yeah. Because we're recovering addicts. We're recovered addicts.
Yeah.
And
it is time for a commercial.
We use this to keep ourselves occupied and keep ourselves out of trouble.
Good morning, Becky. So you ready for a commercial?
Absolutely.
And we'll be right
back.
Who are you?
Yes, Johnny Rooster. I have a show on Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Axe Media Group known as AMG Broadcasting to promote small businesses and local entertainers and nonprofits.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody. We're glad that you guys stuck with us through that. Now, Becky Green says, "Good morning, boys or guys. Looks like it might be a pretty good day," Larry said. And, playing jail music, Steve Schultz said. Oh, yes, jail music.
Oh, yeah. Getting out of...
This one's called Breaking Out of Prison. And then I'd scratch my pick across my strings.
Yeah.
Sounding like, like you're filing on metal bars.
Go on.
So I get so distracted so easily. My ADD is something else this morning. So and Steve was there every Wednesday, sometimes more than that, but he was there every Wednesday all the way up until we moved into the office, and then I'm, Larry, I'm recovering my barns and house with paint. And then Steve Mickey Mac is here. He says, "Hey guys," he's just got out of surgery the other day. He had his hip replaced.
Yeah.
And he'll be dancing and kicking up a storm before you know it. So we started there. We changed the music. We started our show every single morning. We started videoing it, and then we invited Dr. Paul in to have a show, and then we invited And the thing is my battery on my phone would not do 2 hours worth of broadcasting. So I told Jim, I was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do Dr. Paul's show. We're not going to be able to do any other show because I don't have the battery power to be able to use it. Because when you plugged in the charger, it made a horrible buzzing noise there in that little thing. And he says, "Oh no, you got to do something about that, because I told these people that might be, supporting us to watch what we're doing tomorrow. So you have to fix it. You have to make it to where it works." So scrambling, Dad and I went to our local technology store and picked up a webcam, which is somewhere around here.
Yeah. So it was up here, but I don't know where it is.
I don't know either. It's probably over there. Anyways, and we put that on a deal and used the computer. And then I started learning about like broadcasting software, like what we could use. And then I found vMix, tried it out. Boom. They got to where, oh, wow, look, and you can go back and see some really old episodes where we're just learning as we go. I'm like, hey, watch this. Blink, 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 blink. Check that out. Sorry, guys. There was a lot of sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry,
it's
guys.
funny how different the story is for me than it is for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I had thought about it a little bit more, I could probably come up with a lot more.
Well, it's gotten into, I mean, it's been such a part of our lives that it's integrated with all the different major events and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, your father became part of it. I know that the end of my father's life, before he passed, made it possible to do the things with the band, that we had a place that was consistent and available. I had to be there. But it wasn't the band, actually, it was you. And then when my dad passed away, the house was passed on to me, and it was a place where we could do, we had the space to do what we wanted.
Considered it a recovery ministry.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
What we call it, the Richard Cobb Recovery House or something like that, we called it. We were sit there and play for hours and hours and hours just in the garage.
And I'd go in the house to get a drink. Dad had the TV muted, was listening.
Yeah. That's awesome, because I mean, we didn't know that he
was listening. Yeah.
And that's a way to put it, like in
it was a ministry there in that way more than we'd realized as well. And for me, I know it was inspiring and it was full of worship and joy and creativity, and trying to solve problems, which is something I enjoy to do. It's kind of one of the things I focus on. That's why I seem so negative all the time. It's not because I'm negative. It's because I try to focus on a problem and solve it. And once it's solved, I focus on what's the next problem. So it seems like my focus is always on what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that does affect me that way. But through this, and that's part of what your personality has been so far through the whole thing too, is that I've had you there as a person who has the opposite in personality, in that you are always trying to seek the humor, the joy in something.
Yeah. And you have to have a good sense of humor, if you can.
Drive support.
What does that say?
See.
X'd out of that.
All right. So because it is a different story to me. I think for me, it's a more emotional.
I think that's something that Troy had downloaded on there. I got to fix that.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, for me, it's more an emotional story, and it's kind of started with my father's passing.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pivotal moment where everything became, that was the next way to move on from there. And I had something to, in a way, take my father's place because I spent years taking care of him.
Yeah.
And so a lot of this evolved in the house because I was there with my father.
Yeah.
And then he'd passed away and it opened up, and my sister had left and you were there. And there was a point where he was sick and then I moved out and he got sick again. And then he went to be with my sister in Florida. So there's a lot of the story there.
And in that time,
I mean, and I learned in recovery to commit my work every day first thing to God, and that was how you make it through this. So that was the only way that you could survive this alcoholism, this thing that was killing me and my family and everybody in my life and all my relationships. So that was all part of what I was doing to try to stay into recovery. And you came and got me, brought me from there to which, and think about the odds of this.
Yeah.
What are the odds that you're going to show up at my house? And not only that, say you're coming with me. And not only that, you're coming with me to a recovery ministry where we're going to be committed to service, which is the exact model that they teach you in a recovery center.
Yeah.
In order to stay in recovery.
Yeah. Because I needed you just as much as you needed me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was like a symphony that it's already been written, but it's not heard until it's played.
Yeah. And it's like, man.
And God is a great designer and author, and I'm glad that he has loved me enough to write.
I didn't know you were in recovery.
My life the way he has.
Yeah, I went to Uncle Billy's house to pick something up for Dad or to drop something off for Dad, drop a computer off or something. And he goes, yeah, Jay is in recovery. He quit drinking.
Yeah.
He's over there living at his dad's house.
Yeah.
I saw him out there the other day doing some work in the yard.
Is that what he said? The yard.
Yeah, the yard. And I think he's over there by himself. Uncle Richard is in he's in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, as he says, Florida.
Yeah. I think part of it too, was the needs that the band had before it had become Axe Media Group or Axe Ministry or whatever we got this, how we got to this point. Also, being committed to a work that didn't interest me or even that I didn't like.
Yeah, the sound equipment, you don't like that.
But it was a challenge.
It was definitely a challenge.
And it was needed and it was in service to God. So there was that desire came from that will, and that desire was to serve God. And that the thing that was needed that I could throw myself into and serve in was not something that came easy to me. And I think if it had been, and what a great design God has, because if it had been something that came easy to me, then I would just be like, and still had all of that free space in my life to go back into something, you know what I mean? To fill with something, and then it would have been filled again with alcohol.
Right.
But instead, God put me in a position where there was a real need. And nobody was filling it. Nobody was stepping forward. Nobody was volunteering to do it. And it couldn't be one of the band members because that was too much. And it was in the wrong place to do it. And so I just was like, I'll do it because it was a need. Nobody was stepping forward. And I thought, well, I will do it. And it was such a challenge. And then it developed into when the band broke up, we had the equipment. It was available.
You had just ordered that board.
Yeah.
Just ordered it. And you're like, do I call and cancel it? Or do I? I mean, we had that moment of decision.
Yeah. I think it was $800 too. And then the amp was $500.
Yep.
Which we had been planning that as the next thing to buy to go with the board.
And when you got it, I pictured you unboxing it. I got a picture of you unboxing it. That's still on my Facebook. Look at
and I didn't mean to interrupt you because you were telling an important part. Do we return it? Because I was like, we have no use for this.
That was a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
It's like, do we return it or do I just let it come?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it for a second and I'm like, nah, don't cancel it.
Yeah.
God's not done with us yet.
Also, along the way, I think I saw a lot of things happening was that as we became more and more capable, and of course, the commitment that went without interruption. So we were there to serve, and we were going to do it no matter what. And so whoever picked us up, whoever used us for the purpose of their ministry, was getting us.
Yeah.
And could depend on us. And so we became, and I was there in the scene and kind of just doing the service and with you, and saw a lot of times a ministry will take you for granted and tie you up with all these ideas and plans and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you can't plan for the next step in your life because you have to keep that in reserve for the ministry. And so there was this thing we learned over time is that we had to keep this balance where we were still individuals and these ministries had so many needs and plans of their own. And it's kind of it's been an interesting and difficult time, but also
because people will
beautiful to see God's work in it.
Yeah, because people will do that. They'll try to get as much of you as they can,
and not in a selfish way or taking for granted, but
they
just
want to use us as
out of need.
Yeah, they want to use us as a tool of the Lord to bring gospel to people that would not otherwise receive it.
Yeah, and I was there watching, and a lot of times I did say, look, for some reason this isn't going to work. You know what I mean? And I would see that and try to say, and you would become overwhelmed. Like you would end up being where you weren't sleeping, you were working.
You didn't want to say no to anybody.
You didn't want to say no to anybody. And so I try to keep that in mind where a lot of time, and here's the nature of it though, is that when you're working with ministries, that will always be the case.
Yeah.
They will use you up and use you up and use you up, even for
but not in a bad way.
Even for hypothetical plans that they can't even follow through with. And so then you get in your mind, we're going to do this,
and then
but you're waiting, and you have your life in reserve for that. And so we managed to be able to continue to move forward with what we could do. And it's been amazing to see that God had a direction for this. I mean, and it evolved, and you kind of it doesn't really change. But yet there's more and more added to, you know what I mean? And your goal changes in a little bit of way, like to do this well, but then to include others and then to make it a place where somebody could just walk into the door and sit down and do something. You know, realizing as you learn and grow and become more capable over the years to do something opens you up to do something more right now.
Yeah. Steve Schultz says, Ministry is 24/7.
It sure is. Yes.
Mic drop. Sorry, it was fun.
A mic drop.
So
I'm sorry.
So we have some. All right. So Larry says I'm recovering from unpainted barns, and I said, Larry, you're silly." Becky says, "Larry, you are goober," and I said, and Steve said, there is pain, but it's all worth it. Talking about his hip pain. And I said, "Yeah, Larry, you are a chocolate-covered raisin." And Becky said, "LOL." Matt, fishing for a story, Larry said, Northwest Fishing Tournament. Johnny Rooster said, Jay will win the sandwich contest.
Thank you.
Larry says, cost $2, and whoever catches the biggest fish takes the cash. Teach a man to fish, and he might eat. Teach a man about Jesus, and he will live forever.
Amen.
And ministry is 24/7. So there's that. So we're all caught up on that now. So be sure and keep shooting those comments to us, man, because that actually makes us more visible to everybody.
And it's enjoyable.
So
it's nice to know that people are listening.
Good stuff I'm typing, and I'm just typing stuff to So we're at that moment where we're like, okay, let it come, let it not. And I felt like God was moving us forward. I felt God saying, we are not done yet. So you let it come. We started learning how to record. There was one time that, and I'm pretty sure that, God stopped it from being able to be done because it would have been just so amazing. Our Matt choir of Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone. But we spent like 8 hours that one day singing each part over and over and over again.
I think it was a week. We calculated at one point it was like 30-something hours.
Yeah. And we were like, my chains are gone.
The work part,
yeah. And so what we did was we sang three parts. That's melody, high harmony, and low harmony, and all sung by myself. And we tried just duplicating it and then offsetting it just a little bit each one to make it sound like it just still sounded like a weird echoey, like whatever. So we just sang each one differently over and over and over again. And it would have been like 16.
And it did sound amazing.
It would have been like a 16-person harmony, like 16-person choir. And something happened. The machine froze up before we could save it.
And we lost it all.
Lost
Yeah,
every last
I don't
bit
even
of
know what happened.
Oh, man. And
I
you're
still
like,
don't. It's probably still on the computer.
you were like,
That's the same computer, right?
you know what? Let's just call it a day. I don't feel like doing anything today after that because we tried.
Oh,
so we
boy.
worked so hard, man. It would have been great. Probably
Yeah.
would have been. And
It's
it
not
was
too late. We could do it.
And it was a cappella.
Yeah.
All of it. The entire thing was a cappella.
A lot
sang
of the
that
stuff
song
we were
so
using
much.
was in a research and development age. Believe me, software has come a long way in these last
Absolutely.
8 years
Yeah.
or 9. How many has it been now? 9? 2013.
Yeah. Was that whenever you got the computer?
I went into recovery September 17th, 2012. 2013, April, you showed up at my house. We started working together that year in the band. I started getting involved in the
Make yourselves
sound.
at home.
So I'm guessing it was around the time my
Coffee's
dad
in the
died.
back. Sorry, we got Dawn in there.
Hi, Dawn.
Dawn and her husband. And is it Jeff? Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Dan and Dawn.
Dan and Dawn, D&D.
They're here for an up and coming
Penny for your
show
thoughts.
coming up next. Penny for your thoughts.
Yeah.
Penny for your thoughts. So we need to.
And it really kind of came up to this point that
Yeah.
they can come in the door and have a place to sit down and put something together and
get
focus
their
on what's
message
there.
out there.
Yeah, and focus on their message and not have to have this all at their house to kick around.
Yeah.
And so God has put us in a position to be able to come to this point where we're saving a lot of people a lot of the trouble and giving them a start point that is much further along and easier to manage than what we started at.
Yeah.
But we were in the right position to do it too. Single men, lost my father, needed a roommate. You know, all of those things came through in a way that
Fell into place.
It fell into place. And who knew the plan then? We had our own plans, and a lot of that, I don't know, did any of our own plans really come around the way we had thought they would? You know,
No.
none of our vision actually came about in the way we had envisioned it.
Yeah.
It just kind of was out of our hands, but we were
Yeah.
willing to allow that.
Yeah,
and
we said,
stay
"Here am I,
committed."
Lord, send me." So
Yeah.
and we had our ups and downs, like everything. It was a journey, and it's time for us to get out of here.
Yep.
So we will see you all later. So what we're going to do is we're going to let you know that there's an upcoming show here in just a few minutes called Penny for Your Thoughts with Susan Abar and co-hosts Dawn
Do we have to build that?
and Dana. Yes. Followed by Wisdom for Today, a little pre-recorded segment by by Dana.
Dan?
If she brings the videos today, we will be playing those. If not, then we will be playing old videos. So until then, my friends, may God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
And this has been
The
The Morning
Morning
Drive.
Drive.